Hi, here we are again. So
Hi.
we're here to do the second half of the Skin is In, and I'm going to now go to share screen as I did earlier, and go to the PowerPoint, and here we go. So we were talking about the different components. So hey, Tina,
Hi,
you're
Tina.
there. Wow.
You're there? Okay, you can see me?
Oh, Tina, now you just need to turn your camera up a little bit because I can see your chin.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, great. Wow, Tina.
Sorry, I dropped it.
No, that's okay. Really good. Great to see you.
Okay.
So we're just starting to record. We've just started recording, and you can see the slides. Hi, Helen.
Yes, I can.
So, Helen, you can see that Tina's all systems go. She's on the screen, and you're muted, Helen. So if you unmute yourself, Helen, there we go.
Yep, that's okay. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Helen.
So Tina lives in Essendon, and Helen lives in Bunyip in Gippsland, Tina.
A little downtown Bunyip.
Just a bit far.
Yeah, well, the beauty of this is that when we run our webinars, that we can be live, which is always, I love, the more people that are live, the better, because there are questions and there are comments, and, when you can discuss something at the time that it's being presented, I find that for me, if I can ask questions, if I'm sitting in on something, are you like that, Lil? I just find that I tend to, it connects more with me if I can ask questions as I go. So Tina, I really encourage you to ask questions if you want, right? So we're not going to go back and cover what we've already done. We're just going to keep going now, and to finish this second half of the first of the classes, yeah? And so what we spoke about, with the different components. So now what we're going to do is go into the different skin types, yeah? And as you can see there, it's genetically determined, yeah? It can be classified, it is classified by the amount, like you said earlier, Lil, yeah? The amount of oil that's in your skin, yeah?
Yeah.
And it does remain fairly constant throughout your life. Your skin type, like my skin type has not changed at all in my entire life.
And you'll often get asked this question, about skin type. And one of the things that you got to remember is that, like Lucia said, your skin type technically never changes. That's what you're born with. That's what does change is your skin condition, which is going to, come up. So you could be oily but have dry, flaky bits around the nose. And people go, I've got oily skin, I have these dry, flaky, things. And in the nicest possible way, you've got to actually say, well, you know what? It's not dry skin, it's actually dead skin that you can now, as you've got that much dead skin now, you can actually physically feel it and see it.
Yeah.
Your skin type does not change. It's your skin condition that does, which we're going to do next.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. So a person's skin type, as I said, is genetic. However, it varies with age and with seasonal change, yeah? Determining skin type is the first step in ensuring the correct products are used on the skin. Sometimes I find, Lil, I don't know about you, when I send out the monthly specials brochure, people go, based on price, they want to buy skincare rather than really understanding that it is about their skin type. So that's why when and those of you that are in when we're doing training and what have you, that's why I always introduce people to the product catalogue first. So if I'm meeting a customer for the very first time, it's not about showing them what's on special in the book. The specials are irrelevant when it comes.
At times, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really about identifying. Now, in our product catalogue, we have, I think it's on page 14 and 15 of the catalogue, we've got those pages, the Discover Your Skin, and it goes through all the different types of skincare products that we've got. And in a nutshell, it has Know Your Skin Type, but we're actually going to go into it a little bit more deeply now. So there are 5 main skin types, yeah?
Yep.
So, and we'll talk about the oily one first. So oily being overall shine on the face, yeah? It's a coarse and uneven, thick texture.
Yep.
Yeah. Enlarged pores usually.
Usually, like they spread out, across the cheeks.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
And because they're larger, going back to what we said before about the sebum going up the hair follicle, it covers a larger area,
Yeah.
hence more oily.
Yeah. And also it's regularly prone to blemishes, the blackheads and the breakouts that we spoke about before, yeah? So, and then we go to from normal to oily skin. So
Normal to oily.
Yeah. So normal on the outer part. Yeah.
Correct.
Oily down the centre.
Yeah.
So that skin type has a shine on the
T-zone.
Yeah, on the T-zone. And pores in the T-zone are enlarged. Yeah.
They're right. Not as big as the other one, but yes.
And on this skin type, this is the one where makeup tends to separate during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because of the oil.
Yeah, it absorbs.
Yeah.
And it tends to look uneven.
Yeah, and cheeks feel comfortable to slightly oily and regularly prone also to blackheads and breakouts, yeah? And then we've got a normal skin. So the skin has clear, smooth texture with little to no shine. And when we talk about the shine, the oil, it's when you run your finger along the forehead, down the centre of the forehead, yeah? And you can actually see the oil on the tip of the finger, yeah? So
what I call the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock greasies. Where you can just about get a blotter and, start blotting.
Yeah. So the skin is neither oily nor dry. Occasional oil may appear in that T-zone and you may experience an occasional breakout. So, that's,
which is normal. That could be hormonal too.
Yeah. So normal to dry skin, there's a presence of oil is rare.
Normal to dry.
Yeah, is rare in the T-zone. Cheeks are slightly dry or dry and the skin has a smooth texture with cheeks tending towards dryness. The pores are normal size and rarely experience breakouts and blemishes. And,
like the pores are just, if you looked, you can hardly see them.
Yeah, okay. And then with the dry skin, so there is severe lack of oil causing a tight and uncomfortable feel all over. Yeah?
It's fairly stretched. It's usually very sensitive.
Yeah, okay. And then the pores are almost invisible.
Yeah.
And skin has a fine, dry appearance and tendency towards sensitivity, yeah?
So what we mean by, skin has a fine, dry appearance, you can actually look cakey, as in dry. Like you can literally see, how do I explain this? Like almost see cracks in the skin. It's incredibly, tight and you can actually see the white dryness, I suppose, in the skin. Yeah.
So another thing I want to talk about, given that we've got the new Comfort Plus range that's just been launched, I want to talk about sensitive skin. And whilst it isn't actually on the on the PowerPoint, just wanted to cover that in some depth, So the characteristics of sensitive skin, that it's hot, warm to touch the skin usually. So when you're actually touching the skin, it actually feels, hot. It's usually thin and fine textured. It's prone to becoming red and blotchy. Broken capillaries. Easily irritated by products and rough fabrics. So products and
and this is a direct result of the thinness of the skin. The thinner it is, the less of those absorbing factors that we spoke about before that are there, that basically are protecting agents, and then almost non-existent. So they are extremely exposed to the environment, around them. and
Yeah.
all the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, and then like I said, easily irritated by
Yeah.
products. Usually associated with a dry skin.
Yeah.
However, can affect all skin types, but it's usually dry. Yeah. Skin appears tight, like Lil said. It reacts to environmental conditions and irritation when specific products are applied.
Yeah.
Right? There'll be certain things. Yeah.
Yeah.
The possible causes of sensitive skin is what I want to go on to here. So it can be hereditary, right? It can be, genetics, it could be a reaction to medication. So it's not the sort of thing that I would ask a person, like, are you on some kind of medication? But it is one of the major causes of sensitive skin. Yeah.
Especially if they say my skin has never been sensitive and all of a sudden, something's going on.
Yeah.
So then I think you do have the, in a nice way, say, well, tell me what's changed.
Yeah, that's a nice way to ask. Yeah.
And then I go, well, okay, well, I'm on this, that, and the other. I'm on this medication or this, and that you start narrowing it down.
So using incorrect products. Heat or cold. So in this kind of weather that we're having here in Melbourne right now, I don't know where you are when you're listening to this. I know for those that are live, I know that,
You're
right
in
now you're in Melbourne and you know how freezing cold it is. But if you're watching this at a later date, so today is the 21st of July in 2018, just in case you're watching this some other time, in Melbourne, and it's freezing cold. So there are people that right now their skin is very red, like, for instance, people who ordinarily would get chilblains, for instance, you'll find will experience that kind of, and it could be on their hands, their face, their ears, on their feet is where chilblains occur. Heat or cold. Fatigue is another reason for the cause for sensitive skin. Reaction to specific ingredients, which we've talked about before. So it could be a person is gluten intolerant, for instance. It could be that people have an allergy, a food allergy that they do not know that they've got. So they don't know they have a lactose intolerance. They don't know that they have a wheat intolerance. A lot of people, I find, Lil, they think that they've got to eat a whole lot of bread or cake or biscuits to have a gluten intolerance. You don't. It's like an alcoholic. An alcoholic only needs one little beer to top up the alcohol level in the body. So likewise, when it comes to gluten or with lactose, you've only got to have a little bit of milk in your coffee and that will top up. And so sometimes people don't know that they've got that.
Right. And things like citrus, too much citrus in the system, can give them hives. Itchy and that. So, if you can't eat it, what makes you think that you can use a product that's got that product in there? So
that relates to acidity, which we'll talk about as well. Yeah. So reaction to specific genetics, which we've already talked about. Reoccurring skin conditions such as eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, those sorts of things as well.
Rosacea.
Rosacea. So turn down the water temperature. So if you're a person that has sensitive skin, a long hot shower or extra steamy bath may feel relaxing, but it is not soothing to the skin. Keep the temperature warm, not hot. Each time you shower or wash your face. Hot water or spending too much time in the shower or bath can deplete the skin of its natural moisture, which is especially detrimental during the winter months. So like right now in Melbourne. Soothe sensitive skin. If you have sensitive skin, focus on eating. Now I love this topic, anti-inflammatory diet. So if you eat a lot of sugar causes inflammation in the body. People are not aware. It's not a topic that's talked about a lot in this context, but sugar causes inflammation in the body. I had a client yesterday, as true as I'm sitting here, the day before, on Thursday. This woman is in her 60s, same age as me, eats so much junk food, as skinny as anything, but eats a lot of junk food. So obviously her system, burns it up. But she has got the rosacea all over her face. And I said to her, do you eat a lot of sugar? And she said, I love it. And I said, well, you know what, that's one of the biggest causes of the inflammation that you've got, which is that rosacea that's causing this. So anti-inflammatory foods, I'm not going to go into what they are, but if you just go into Google and go in there and ask for alkaline foods, what foods are the best foods for you to eat when you have sensitive skin. It will tell you there what they are. They'll give you a list. Even if you go into Google Images, it'll print up pages of all the foods that will help, with the anti-inflammation. Certain nutrients can help clear inflammation from the body. Try eating fresh vegetables and fruits, omega-3 fatty acids such as cold water fish, flax, walnuts, whole grains and legumes, and lean white meat are the best things for a diet when there is sensitivity to the skin. So something else that I want to talk about is acidity. Yeah. So whilst it's not up on the slide, and so we'll come to that a little later. But the acid mantle, your invisible shield. Yeah. So acidity, so that's little, when we're applying foundation on a person that goes bright orange.
Yes.
Yeah. Or what's the other thing? Lipstick.
Lipstick.
Yeah.
Changes colour, and jewellery. If you're wearing jewellery and you get the black, underneath. Yeah. Yeah. They're indicators that you have too much acidity in your system.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we talk here, and I will share a acidity, the ideal pH balance scale. I'll post it up on Global Traveller Girls so that you've got that. But so the acid mantle, your invisible shield. So now with that you've explored what lies beneath the skin surface with everything that we've already shared with you. When we have a look at what's going on above it, so the acid mantle is the invisible natural shield on the skin surface consisting of various skin lipids, compounds and beneficial microorganisms. The acid mantle is acidic in pH. Hydrogen potential is what that pH means, varying from 4.5 to 5.5 pH. It helps to ward off infections and naturally protects the skin. So why we use a toner, yeah? This is what, when we use a toner, what does it do?
It balances out your pH level.
Yeah.
It brings your acid mantle back to its natural state.
Yeah. So even though scientists, when you ask a scientist, what you should do for the skin, they never include using a toner. But you find that that's the thing that instantly brings back the acidity level to its natural state. Is when
especially if you're using any type of soap on you. And a lot of people say, I don't use soap, but they shampoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And shampoo runs on your face. So that all of a sudden disrupts your acid mantle and makes your skin more alkaline. So you need to bring it back.
So the pH of a liquid refers to its degree of acidity or alkalinity. So someone's making a comment there. Let me just see what that is. So there we go. And I found the BAME and the RC are great for your body if you have a more sensitive skin. I remember Mum telling me when I was younger that if you're wearing silver and it makes your skin go black, you're not well. There you go. Because when your body is high in acid, all sorts of things can happen to your body that you really don't want it to have happen. Yeah. So the ideal diet is an alkaline diet. So to keep bacterias and all the things that we don't want to have growing in our body, is to make the diet more alkaline. Yeah. Thanks for that, Helen. Yeah. Okay. So the pH factor is measured on a scale of 0 to 14. A pH of 7 is neutral, neither acid nor alkaline. Pure water, for example, is neutral, or 7 city tap water tends to be alkaline. Numbers below 7 are acidic. Numbers above 7 are alkaline. In fact, if you want to know how alkaline or acidic your body is, you can actually go to the pharmacy and buy the acidic papers that you can pop on your tongue, and depending on what colour they go, you can tell how acidic your system is. Yeah, human skin is not pH neutral. The normal pH of the skin is, as I said, 4.5 to 5.5, slightly acidic. When water is splashed on your face, your skin becomes temporarily alkalized. These minor temporary changes in the pH of the skin are not harmful, but prolonged use of high alkaline products such as soap, pardon me, or failing to tone the skin after cleansing will tend to dry up the natural moisture of the skin and may cause the protective acid mantle to be stripped away. This continual stressing of the acid mantle can result in premature aging. And
we don't want that.
Don't go there.
Don't go. Tone.
Tone the skin. So let's just talk now about the skin conditions. So these are like the external and internal factors. Yeah. Okay. So okay. Yeah. Did you want to say something?
No. I'm giving you a time.
Giving me a timer. Lil's giving me 5 minutes. Yeah. Did something come up there?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Into my time.
No. Okay. So they're changeable. So like now we're experiencing this really cold weather. Yeah. Then we might go to Dubai.
Yeah.
Right. And we're in 45-degree heat apparently at the moment in Dubai. Yeah. So pollution products, internal hormones, stress, diet. About more than one can occur at a time. So you can be,
stressed in Dubai.
Stressed in Dubai.
Bring it on.
Sorry,
So did you want to say something, Tina?
No.
Oh, I can hear a little girl in the background. Is that at your place, Tina?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Is it me?
I can hear a
It
little
is
girl.
you.
It is you, Tina. So you might just mute yourself. Yeah.
No, there's a Jackie coming up on the screen.
Yeah, it'll be me. Sit down, Max. Sorry, guys.
Okay. So, Jackie, you
I'll
might
mute
need
it.
to mute yourself. I didn't know you were there, Jackie.
I can't see Jack.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, have you been there the whole time?
Oh, there you are. Say hi, guys.
Okay, great.
I'll
I didn't know you were
I'll
there.
mute
There you go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so we just flicked the wrong. There we go. So, so the weather, products, all of that, and more of them one can happen at the same time. So,
A good way to describe this to your customers is that your skin changes from season to season, depending on conditions, yet alone year to year. So something, if they've been using something for, 20 years, as much as they might like it, sometimes they may need to add something else to protect them against the weather or whatever at certain times of the year. So whether it's a serum or whether it's still Restore, but you might need to go more into an intense during winter, and vice versa. Still use Restore, but in summer have the one that doesn't have as many oils, etc., because that doesn't clog up your pores. So it's very important for you to know those factors that can affect your skin condition.
So here in the module, apart from just wording it here, so skin reacts externally to the sun, wind, pollution, temperature, air conditioning, heating, inappropriate product use, and poor skincare habits. Yeah, and then internally. Stress, smoking, poor diet, medication, lack of sleep, hormones, and alcohol. And I just want to read you something from the module about women who smoke. And this is not directed at anybody in particular, but this is something that scientifically, technically, this is how smoking affects a woman's skin. So smoking has an even greater effect on female skin. Smoking narrows the blood vessels in the skin, depriving it of oxygen and nutrients, speeding up the aging process. Wrinkles around the mouth, eyes, vertical folds on the cheeks, and a muddy complexion are the result. The nicotine even settles in the pores and blackens comedones by oxidizing them, which is blackheads, right? Just one reason more to ditch the cigarettes, okay? So, but that's just something that is in the module. So as far as the skin conditions, we've got all of those things. Now, the more stressed, something that's, the word stress there is, collected with all the other words. But stress plays a very, very big part in the condition of the skin. So emotions, not just stress as in, stress, but, internal emotions such as anger, such as resentment, those kinds of things also make the body acidic, which a lot of people don't talk about, yeah?
It changes the way your engine works. Stress, from the pumping of the heart, the oxygen and all the rest of it.
So then when we get into the big concerns, the big seven, yeah? What was the name of that movie? I'll think of it. I can't remember now. Anyway, so
Magnificent Seven.
The Magnificent Seven. That's it, Helen. So lines and wrinkles, pigmentation is a very big one. The loss of firmness and volume, dullness, fine line, first signs of aging, redness and irritation, and dehydration. So when we're talking to our customers, this is, if you were to ask a customer, what are some of your concerns? What's one thing that would make the biggest difference? So, like for some people, tackling everything is too much. Yeah. It's overwhelming. Yeah. So by asking them, what's the first thing, what's the one thing that you would like to change about the condition of your skin, the appearance of the skin or the condition of the skin. Yeah.
It doesn't overwhelm them.
No, it doesn't overwhelm them, because if you ask them about all the things that concern them, it's like, oh, don't start me, especially when, for me, I don't know about for you, but it was when I turned 18 and then 28 and then 38 and then 48 and 58, it was what, I remember when I was 38 is actually when I gave up smoking, because I remember looking in the mirror that day and seeing exactly what I just described to you about the things that were happening to my skin. And I'm thinking, oh boy, I was blessed with such great skin. Look what I'm doing, And so that was my reason. It was totally pride. It was nothing to do with, it was just, anyway. So for different people, it's different things. But these are the big ones. And so when we're talking to our customers, they're going to mention, one of these. And so in the second part of Primer is Not Skincare, we will be going in depth into all of these different things, in which products actually address each one of these concerns, and to be of the best help and the best kind of beauty consultant that we can be for our customers is really to be able to address consult. Yeah, to consult. And it's asking questions and being able to have a look at their skin, because, for a lot of mums particularly who have been busy mothering and nurturing and doing all the things that you do as a mum, the last thing that's been on their mind is like, looking after my skin, and so so that's definitely something that they haven't looked at their skin for such a long time, and so they just
they don't put themselves first.
No, No,
Yeah.
no. So being able to show them what we're talking about, because they go, oh, that black mark, they don't realise that that's actually aging, like it's an age spot, yeah, sunspot, and going back, and we'll go to the next slide and just go to the final slide here in the program. Some years ago, it would be almost 3 years ago now, and I know that I've mentioned this to Lil and the managers before, is that I was at a Rotary conference. One of the speakers at the conference was a Dr. Jeff Sussman, who headed up the burns unit at Monash Hospital, and he was doing a presentation on skin. And I was in the audience, and it was not a Nutrimedics thing. It was literally a Rotary event, and he was talking about the skin, and people were talking about, what people should do or shouldn't do. And he talked about, he said, look, I'm not into brands, I'm not into companies, but from a scientific point of view, there are 4 things that you should do for your skin. Yeah, and one of them is to clean your skin, give it a good clean twice a day.
Yeah,
and in some, in the cosmetic world, it's actually double cleansing your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So removing the makeup, with a wipe or whatever you're going to use, and then giving it a wash.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's what a double cleanse. When you're wearing makeup. Yeah, he said the second thing that you need to do to your skin is actually to give it a good drink. Twice a day, give it a good drink, and for us as consultants, being able to identify exactly which is the right, with that whole process we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, goes back to identifying your skin type.
Yeah, exactly. And then he said there are 2 other things. He said in Australia, if you are not using sunscreen on every bit of exposed skin, you are asking for trouble, were his exact words. So anyone in Australia who's not using sunscreen on exposed skin on a daily basis is asking for trouble. And then the 4th thing that he talked about was exfoliation. So he said, what a lot of people don't realise is that even when you've been out in the sun, one of the best things that you can do is give your skin a light exfoliation. Well, I had never heard that before. Like at that time, we're talking 3 years ago, I'd been in Nutrimedics for 40 years. I had never heard anyone talk about removing damaged skin cells off the surface. So when you've been out in the sun, when your skin has cooled down, is to actually give it a light exfoliation to remove the damaged cells off the top of the skin, which is it makes sense, doesn't it?
Does, totally.
So exfoliating your skin, and I, when I'm doing my parties and treatments, I talk about, men, my dad who's 94, my partner Joe who's nearly 68, hasn't got a mark from the cheekbone down, has not got a mark on his face. Above the cheekbone, he's got sunspots, that he gets burnt off, and all the rest of it. Yeah, because when we shave, when a man shaves, he exfoliating. Yeah. So men the same age, like men my age group, have got much younger skin than most women because they haven't got a mark on their face.
From here down.
Yeah. So from the cheekbone down, you'll find that they don't have a mark. Now, so those who have protected their skin, blah, blah, blah. But so if you're talking to your customers about the non-negotiables, like it says on the screen, it's these 4 things. And as consultants, it's important that we know to be the best beauty consultant is to be able to identify, like Lil said before, which skin type, and then what are all the cleansers that relate to that person, and then which sunscreen should they use, and which moisturizer should they use. Should it have the sunscreen in it? So then you look at the ones that have got the sunscreen.
Correct. Yeah? And we're really lucky with Nutrimedics because within any of the ranges, you've got various oil levels and whether you can use sunscreen or not. For example, I can't use sunscreen in my moisturizer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but my sunscreen is in my foundation and my powders and things like that. So
Yeah.
as much as I love the sun, it is being protected all the time. But I know my limitations now. I know that I can't use a strong sunscreen in a moisturiser. Took me years to figure that out.
Figure that out, yeah. Okay.
You do it. But
So,
you do. Yeah. We're lucky. We've got that range.
Yeah. Okay, so there are some nice comments there. What's the difference between lines and to grow a wrinkle? How long does it take to grow a wrinkle? Oh, Helen, a lifetime. A lifetime. Anyway, we are going to wrap it up there. So just really want to thank those of you that have been on the call today. So Tina, Helen, Jackie, that have been on there. Those of you that are watching this at another time, it's great that you're taking the time to listen in on this and to upskill yourself, re-educate ourselves, make sure that we're relevant and current with our customers.
We always need refreshers.
Absolutely, in every industry.
No matter how long you've been in it.
Absolutely. So we look forward to next week doing part 2 of the Primer is Not Skincare, and look forward to seeing you then.
Lucia, can I just ask, is there a chance of getting a hard copy of anything that you've spoken about today?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to load it up. I'm going to load it up in Global Traveller Girls in the units on Global Traveller Girls. So all the documents that we're using, I'm going to pop them in there for you.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Thanks so much for sharing, Lil.
Have a good day.
See you. Bye.
See you, Helen.
Great session.
Bye.
Bye.